The KO Slam Jam was a 72-hour game jam that included the themes of 120 Seconds, Slam, and Transition. This was the first game jam that was hosted on Knockout.chat, an online forum that I frequent. It's where I go for gaming news and to get help with game development. But those two things are just a small part of what Knockout has to offer. Anyway, on to the jam. Unfortunately, the game jam started on a workday for me, and by the time I got home from work, I was far too tired to start anything, so I made almost no progress on the game jam after the initial 24 hours. However, while I was at work, I had plenty of time to brainstorm various game ideas and really settle on which one felt right to me. The first theme I settled on pretty quickly was 120 seconds. I felt like this would be the easiest to work with. Creating a game that only lasts 2 minutes meant I had to keep the game small and couldn't overscope what I wanted to put in. I couldn't think of what to do with the Slam theme. Almost nothing came to mind for this one that seemed fun to create or play, so I moved on. And the last one to think about was Transition. Now, at the time of this game jam, I had werewolves on my mind quite often. I couldn't stop thinking about them because, I'm actually a huge Bloodborne fan. I've poured many hours into that game, and if it ever came to PC, I'd probably stop playing other video games entirely. So naturally, because of this, I wanted to make something that was inspired by Bloodborne. With the theme of Transition, I thought it would be cool to have the player transform into a werewolf. I took the player character and added wolf ears and a small tail to them. Learning how to set up blend shapes and export them to Godot was actually pretty painless. Setting the script up was just as easy, and before I knew it, I had created
Furry transformation technology.
With Bloodborne now on my mind, I had a pretty solid direction I wanted to take my game. The premise of the game was this. As a member of the church, you are tasked with slaying beasts. A deadly encounter with one such beast has left you injured and cursed. The goal was simple, go from point A to point B before time ran out. Originally, I had thought about creating a somewhat linear path towards the goal and making it a stealth game where you had to avoid other church members while you raced against time towards the goal. I scrapped the stealth game idea as I was afraid I'd get tripped up trying to include enemies into the game, as well as stealth mechanics to hide from them. The little gremlin inside my brain also warned me about overscoping, so I decided to rethink my approach. Instead, I decided to keep it as simple as I could possibly make it, and turned my idea into a glorified maze game. I found an online maze generator, and after playing around with it, I got a small maze layout I was happy with. I took a picture of the maze and made sure the scale wasn't too large, so that the player could reach the end goal within 2 minutes. After that, I began working on creating the buildings that would act as the walls of the maze. Admittedly, this is where I got really lazy. I quickly created a couple of buildings, as well as the outer walls and the church. Not my finest work, but I told myself that I could always come back later and redo them or add more variety. At this point, the game was pretty much finished. All that was left was adding a main menu, a win screen, and game over screen. I took some time to include a couple sound effects, as well as some background music. The game was done, and I still had an entire day left to do whatever else I wanted with it. I didn't actually do anything for the third day, and just uploaded the game as it was. Anyway, if you want to try the game out for yourself, there's a link in the description. Thanks for watching.